Hey guys, what's up? Dingo Crikey here with another commentary video. This time I'm going to be discussing a Transformers 5 topic, looking at the creators and how does the Allspark really work in with that storyline. Okay, so this wasn't really a viewer-requested topic. However, user Derpy Pizza, which is a great username by the way, had posted a comment in one of my other videos asking for me to do a video on, what happened to the Allspark cube in the films, to which I'd basically answer I think it was almost completely destroyed, when it was Transformers 2007 film spoilers used to kill Megatron. And then, of course, Sam had a shard of the Allspark, and I believe there was some in Megatron's chest, or Scapel had a piece, something like that. But anyways, there was very little of the Allspark left. But then the user went on to ask about, how does this work with the creators? And, of course, the Allspark was sort of introduced as the creator of the Transformers in the 2007 film, but now they're talking about the creators as if they're an entity, and we do see the arm in the beginning of Age of Extinction, which, just to be safe, was never officially stated to actually be the creators. A lot of us have just assumed that. I'm thinking it's at least a minion of them or something of the sort. But anyways, by what is said in Age of Extinction, we have an idea that there are beings which created the Transformers, as referred to by Lockdown, and it's doubtful it's just going to be, a big Allspark cube sitting in a chair or something like that. So if the creators are something like the quintessential question is, what about the Allspark? Well, first of all, touching on how does this really work in the production sense, honestly, when they made the 2007 film, I just don't think they were, thinking they would go this long and run into this kind of problem. They're probably just thinking, okay, we're going to try this movie, and if it succeeds, we'll make a sequel. But now, of course, it's gone on long, and they no longer seem to be just doing, the Rocky Balboa effect, where if it succeeds, we'll introduce a new movie with a different storyline. It will begin in that movie and end. They seem to want to do something bigger, which is going to involve the creators. So I just don't think they were ever planning on actually dealing with this concept. I think the Allspark was the original idea, and Michael Bay and the people working on the films were never really planning on introducing anyone such as the Quintessons, or whoever the creators will be. However, from the way Age of Extinction made it sound, there's something more complex going on there. But honestly, on a production level, I would bet that was just poor planning. I highly doubt, they had this planned on in advance. So the question now is, how are they going to handle this in the films? I mean, I wouldn't be all that surprised if they almost just ignored it. I think it would be a really poor way to handle it. I think there's a lot of things they could do that would better explain it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just never mention the Allspark again. However, we are getting new writers on board, so hopefully it won't take that track, as I do see there is a way out of it, as they could probably combine the two concepts, which, considering the writer's room and all of that, I would think that's what they're going to go with. Hopefully they respect the intelligent members of the audience enough to do that, but, I'm hoping that's what they'll do, and that's what I kind of see them doing at this point. Now, in the storyline, how is this going to be handled? Number one is, they just discard the concept of the Allspark altogether, pretend it never existed, and go on with it from there. Number two is that it is addressed that the Allspark formerly existed, and the creators are just kind of, making a facade, pretending they created the Transformers, and the Allspark, this mysterious cube, was what originally did it. I do think there's a third possibility, and that is, as I mentioned, them combining the two ideas, and I like this the most, is something like maybe the original Transformers. If they introduce, maybe even before the 13 originals, if they want to, add more to their universe or something. They were actually built by the creators, maybe even the original prototypes of the Transformers. And to a certain extent, they may have even continued doing this. However, the creators themselves built the Allspark cube. However they did it, they created the Allspark, and this was used as a means of sort of mass producing Transformers. And if you look at the Quintessons in Generation 1, I don't think they ever did anything exactly like this, but it would kind of make sense because at a certain point they treated the creation of Transformers sort of like an assembly line. They needed people to do work, to build things. So, having the Allspark cube to do that, would really increase production. And then we probably would see the Transformers become more and more sentient, eventually overthrow the creators, and maybe they keep hold of the Allspark cube, and that becomes what they kind of fight over, because that's, the source of their life in the film. I think that's a possibility. There are probably some other ones that interlace the two concepts, but that's just throwing one possibility out there. Now, why don't the Transformers remember this? That's probably a big question. Even in the 2007 film, though, we had them, not knowing where the Allspark came from and all of this kind of stuff. But we did see in G1 the Transformers really didn't remember where they came from. It was, spoilers, Rodimus, who eventually uses the Matrix to figure out they were created by the Quintessons. And altogether, I don't think the memory thing is a big problem. I'm sure there's a lot of ways out of this. For one thing, Transformers are as old as dirt. They're probably older than dirt in some cases. I mean, they live super long, so whether it's them forgetting or something that happened to make them forget, there's a lot that can happen in that time span. Also, a lot of those old Transformers that might have been originally created by the Quintessons or around when the Quintessons were still there, a lot of those guys might even be dead, so that's another way out. And another thing is, if they were more primitive at this time and rising up a rebellion against the Quintessons, most of them probably wouldn't be in direct contact with them or anything like that. They probably would just think of them as some oppressive rulers and maybe even develop a mob mentality. I mean, we see that in real life all the time and in history. There people will start riots and rebellions, and a lot of the lower class people don't even know what it's about. It just kind of catches like a flame at a certain point, I guess. I mean, that's another out. And I think it's reasonable to believe they wouldn't really have a definite record of how they were created. I mean, to be fair, all of us can theory all day about, our universe and how it might have been created, but there's no way we can empirically know. So, same goes for the Transformers. Well, unless you introduce time travel, I guess they could figure out, but hopefully they stay away from that. So coming back to the Allspark's integration, to the Transformers it very well could have just been a mystery. Creators weren't able to bring it along with them, and the Transformers kept it. None of them really knew where it came from, but hey, this thing has the ability to make baby Transformers, so hey, it must be our original creator. I mean, I think there's all sorts of possibilities. I obviously can't cover them all here, but I don't think it's impossible to put the two ideas together, and I know a lot of people feel like it's a big contradiction in the story. At this point, yeah, it definitely feels like a big contradiction, and like I said, I highly doubt they had all of this planned out. However, I think they can explain it. It would be an aspect of revisionism, but I think it could be done well, and if they do it well, I wouldn't have a big problem with it. As far as how it will be handled in the movie, hopefully, and at this point probably, they'll have Optimus mention it at some point, and then we'll kind of get the explanation around it. I don't think it will be something that I spend a whole lot of time on, and that would probably be for the best. As always, they probably could just take the cheap way out and ignore it ever existed, but hopefully they don't do that. I think that would be a new low even for these movies. So, those are just my thoughts on it. You guys can, of course, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you think the seeming contradiction of the Allspark and the creators will be handled? Do you think it might just be ignored in the film? Do you agree with me that they may integrate both of the concepts? Or maybe you think that the creators are kind of putting on a facade and that the Allspark is the true creator of the Transformers, and maybe that will even be a big focus of the film? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. along with any topic suggestions you have, of course. Those could pertain to Transformers 5, Combiner Wars, anything Transformers related. You can keep up with the channel for regular Transformers news and commentary. I make videos like this, Transformers news videos that might be reporting on the toys, the Transformers 5 film, so lots of cool stuff, and you can also keep up with me on Twitter for more regular updates. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.